My name is Gene Allen, candidate for City Council Place 4. My wife and I own Kerrville Funeral Home. We've been here about 8.5 years and been very blessed by the community and their support. We've not only own the business, we also own our home here in Kerrville, so we're very vested in the community and what everything means to everybody, I guess.
And what's brought you to seek a seat on council now?
Again, being blessed by the community and their support, I think gives me a feeling of desire to give back. I've had numerous people within the community over 2 or 3 years now that have urged me to seek a place on council, and because of my past experience on council in another city, I think there's some folks that believe that I can bring something good to the council and make a positive impact.
Do you think how do you think having served previously will directly apply? I know that there's a learning curve when you first get on council.
Absolutely, I think the basics that's going to give me a good insight as to where we're going. Every city's different. It doesn't matter how many different cities anyone serves on council and how much experience they've got. Every city's different, and the challenges are quite different. But I think having the basics down is going to be a benefit if elected.
Do you see any similar challenges here, based on where you were before serving on city council, that might help you here?
I think most cities are constantly struggling with revenues, specifically ad valorem taxes. And no one, including myself, likes to pay taxes any more than the next person. So there's always a challenge, no matter where you are, in trying to make the budget balance with what income you've got coming in. I think that's probably the biggest similarity. Yes.
Were the cities comparable in size, or?
Previous city that I lived in was about 14,000.
14.
So it's not too far off, but a little difference.
You're if elected, you'll be the only member of the council who currently would identify themselves as a business owner specifically. Do you think that gives you a unique or different perspective, or do you think that helps you?
I think it gives me a different perspective. There's been a couple of letters to the editor recently concerning that, and I think it gives a whole different perspective in terms of how we need to seek to change the difference in our ad valorem taxes. Currently, in terms of round numbers, I know they're just a little bit different, but in terms of round numbers, we're roughly 70% residential versus 30% commercial. And being a homeowner and a business owner, again, I suffer just like everyone else. But from the homeowner perspective, we've got to make a change. We've got to have some economic development and create economic growth in that area to take that burden off of the homeowners. What
do you think, as a business owner and your experience with the city, what do you think the city needs to be doing different to help our local business owners?
I think past councils and the current council as well has given a concerted effort to go out and reach out to create economic development. The current restructuring of KEDF from 40 members down to 9 members, I think that's going to create a more manageable board there. That's going to give them a little different insight. But I think we've been heading in a good direction. We just need to continue that, expand with what's been the groundwork that's been laid.
How do you rank our current city staff, their job performance?
From everything that I've seen and the dealings that I've had with City Hall, have been very positive. I think generally they're doing a good job. I think as well from a personal standpoint, I think our city manager is a jewel. Kerrville is very fortunate to be able to attract him. We got to keep him in order to maintain where we're at now and where we're going. we got to keep him.
You mentioned that commercial tax base and a burden on property owners. Having sat on a council before, what kind of things do you think are realistic for council members to do to encourage that commercial development, bringing businesses in? How would you go about doing that?
Council members have definitely got to play a part in that economic development role. They've got to look at each and every opportunity available and make prudent decisions based on information that's gathered from those that are working to get the information. If the council members don't take a proactive position in looking at each one of those proposals, it's going to fail. And ultimately it's going to fall within the council's hands to be able to make those decisions. And there's some good things that are in the works, and if they're not handled correctly, it'll fail. And we're going to be sitting in the position that we've been in for some time on that 70-30 split.
Mm-hmm.
Staying with economic development, how do you feel about the new setup as far as the foundation, economic development foundation, and how the city council should work with them?
I personally think the foundation is set to do some great things. I have never experienced a 40-member board before until this current situation was pared down to 9, and I think with 9 people it's a lot better manageable. I think they're going to be in a position to do some really good things, and I'm very excited about it. Council has got to work with them. Council has got to support them and do everything they can to make those things happen that need to happen.
You have received Chuck Coleman's endorsement for City Council. I've noticed signs around other homes and businesses. So looking at who some of your other backers are, was that a big factor in your decision to run? The people who came and said that they would back you?
The current list of supporters that was published in the Kerrville Daily Times and was on my campaign finance report, to be honest with you, those individuals were not the ones over the past 2 or 3 years that had urged me to run for council. Once the word hit the street, if you will, those folks came forward and said, "Hey, we want to support you. We think you're the right person for the job, and what can we do to help?" Got a lot of support in getting those signs out. Got a lot of signs that have to go out this week. Secured spots for them last week, and we've got a lot of work to do this week.
How are you being? How are people reacting to you when you go to houses and things of that nature? Talking to you?
Very positively. I think folks, generally speaking, are hoping for a positive change. They're hoping for new ideas to be interjected into the energy equation, and I think folks are generally upbeat. I guess probably the one thing that comes into every conversation is the tax burden. Of where are we heading? How do you feel about tax increases and so forth?
A lot of the current members of the council and city hall in there like to point out the tax rate hasn't changed much. Do you think that's a fair assessment whenever that doesn't necessarily translate into dollars?
I think you have to look at the bottom line as to what your tax bill is. The tax rate may not have changed, but we've experienced those appraisal values changing, and that's where the difference comes in. The legislature a couple of sessions ago had created some breaks for us, if you will, by revamping the school tax situation, and ultimately my personal property taxes on our home dropped about $1,000. But then the very next year, because of property values increasing, that $1,000 was put right back into the equation.